Let's talk about this visa that the president has issued. It's going to make it a lot harder for people to enter the United States. The administration is proposing to skim up to 5 years of a traveler's social media history. It would apply to people coming in from 42 countries enrolled in the visa waiver program. CBS News immigration and politics reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez is here to explain this. 5 years of social media.
That's right.
And what are they looking for?
Well, just to level set, Vlad, there are 42 countries on the so-called visa waiver program, and their citizens can come here to the U.S. typically without having to apply for a visa at a U.S. embassy or consulate abroad. That typically takes months or years, but they still have to submit an online application through a system overseen by Customs and Border Protection known as ESTA, so they can undergo vetting before coming to the U.S.
And these are just tourists, right?
Correct.
And
or business travelers.
But we don't have this with other. I mean, when I fly to Europe, I don't do anything other than show my passport.
Right, but the U.S. is now asking many of these applicants to submit about 5 years of their social media activity, 10 years of their email accounts, and also personal information related to their immediate relatives like siblings, spouses, and children, including their phone numbers and where they live around the world.
So what is the purpose?
The purpose, according to Customs and Border Protection, is to enforce an executive order issued by the president that he says is designed to prevent the entry of people who could pose a threat to national security or public safety. But the concern among critics is that this could deter tourism to the U.S. This could negatively impact the business and tourism travel industry here in the U.S. months before the U.S. gets ready to host the World Cup alongside Canada and Mexico next summer.
But who is the arbiter of someone's social media history? Is somebody criticizing the president somebody who would get denied a visa? Is somebody who criticizes U.S. policy as it pertains to Venezuela, Afghanistan, or any number of countries potentially going to be targeted? And where are the people who are all about limited government and having the government not intrude in your lives? This social media history sounds like, I mean, it's out there, it's in the public space, so we should be clear that you and I could find somebody's social media history, but why would they use that as a basis to allow someone to enter the country or not?
Well, again, the Trump administration would argue that this is only designed to root out bad actors who could potentially pose a threat to national security or public safety because of ties to terrorism or because of their criminal activity. But of course, privacy advocates and others believe that this could be a slippery slope and that protected ground could be reviewed and examined and heavily scrutinized by the U.S. government, especially in light of recent directives by the administration. For example, a USCIS, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, officials there have been tasked with identifying anti-American views and activities by applicants for green cards and asylum and U.S. citizenship. And of course, there are a lot of questions about what anti-American views and activities actually entail. But of course, the administration, again, would say that this is only meant to enhance the integrity of the system, not to infringe on someone's protected speech.
So remind me again what the administration said about what it hoped to do with people who were undocumented in this country when the president was campaigning. Something about only the worst of the worst and criminals, and remind me what he said and what ultimately transpired.
Well, the president promised on the campaign trail to oversee the largest deportation operation in American history and to mainly focus on the worst of the worst who are here illegally. But what we have seen is that while some individuals here illegally who have also committed serious felonies have been arrested and deported by ICE, we have also seen a broadening of the scope of immigration enforcement in this country, and many immigrants who only face civil immigrations of immigration law are being swept up, arrested, and deported from the country despite living here for 20 years and not having a criminal record. We have seen some DACA recipients being arrested after traffic stops. And of course, the administration would argue that even though they promise to only go after the worst of the worst, or at least to focus on that population, anyone who is in this country illegally is deportable and fair game for enforcement.
All right, paraphrasing James Baldwin, I believe what you do, not what you say. Let's talk about this gold card, which is, it's like a gold card with the president's face on it. It costs, is it $1 million or $5 million?
$1 million.
$1 million. And if you pay $1 million, you get this card. What does it allow you to do?
The president has talked about this gold card for a long time. There is actually now a U.S. government process to actually request and apply for one. It entails applicants submitting an application fee for about $15,000. If they
So the
pass,
application fee is 15 grand?
correct. If they
Sounds like
pass
seamless.
that initial round of vetting, they have to pay at least $1 million to the U.S. government, and then they would be promised a green card or permanent U.S. residency, which after 5 years can turn into American citizenship. And of course, there are still many questions about the legality of this action because it is a program, Vlad, that was not expressly and explicitly authorized by Congress. It also comes amid the administration severely cracking down on other forms of legal immigration from developing countries. So obviously, critics would say that there is a double standard here that is preferential to wealthy individuals.
Although it's not uncommon. I know that, for example, if you want to live in certain European countries, Portugal, for example, they do want you to have a certain amount of money invested in that country before you can actually get the visa. So I guess
many countries do offer a very similar immigration pathway, correct?
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool. Camilo, always good to have you on set because we really get into it, man.
Yeah,
and I love that.
I love it.
I think our viewers do too. Thank you very much.